Okay, it is Friday, April 5th. Welcome everyone. Excited to be here for a few minutes.
Blood pressure come from your arms.
We get to practice things together. I'm just gonna mute everyone. Yeah, so today's theme that I was thinking of covering is
Is a lot.
guys, this situation here, which is someone who's just really stressed out and overwhelmed. And the technical term that I want to introduce to the group today is this idea of ego depletion. That's really just a fancy way of saying that our sense of willpower, or the practical capacity for self-regulation and self-control, is a finite resource. It wanes as the day goes on. So we wake up, presumably our brain has gotten some rest, and we are kind of hitting the restart button, and then stuff starts happening, life starts happening, and our kids don't do what they want us to do. We make the mistake of looking at our news feed, and then before you know it, we feel badly about that. And there's just this ongoing sort of chipping away or kind of draining of this capacity that we have for emotional and cognitive self-regulation. So that's the concept of ego depletion. And it happens to all of us, especially when I saw this picture, I get it. It seems like a while ago when my kids were this age, but I understand that there's those moments where you're kind of at your wit's end trying to figure out what is it that I need to do here in order to self-regulate and regain some sense of control. And so fundamentally, the concept here is, how do I shift myself from reacting to responding? So that's a foundational skill. We all have the reactivity, but we also have the capacity to train ourselves to become more responsive. And again, this is one of those foundational ideas behind self-directed neuroplasticity, which is, well, okay, so what do you need to do to stimulate the responsive parts of your brain in order to maintain some semblance of control in those difficult situations? So neurologically, what we're doing here is we're shifting from staying stuck in the sympathetic activation, right? Our autonomic nervous system. None of us are thinking about our blood pressure right now, or what our liver enzymes are doing, or how quickly our lungs are breathing. That just all happens. So that's the sympathetic nervous system. It's just doing its thing. And then you insert certain stressors in there, be they mental, be they physical, whether it's an actual wild animal, or it's just, that person in your life, that neighbor that gets under your skin. And before you know it, there's this whole activation of your nervous system. That is the sympathetic nervous system. It's trying to protect us from harm and trying to keep us alive. So on the flip side, when we're in a responsive mode, we're actually activating what we would call the parasympathetic nervous system. So this means that we can say, okay, wait a second, I can use some cognitive control. I can use some physiological stimulation, be it breathing or calming myself down, to stimulate a completely different part of the nervous system that says, I got this. And the subjective feeling is dramatically different. So this is the difference between reacting and responding, is sympathetic versus parasympathetic. And so the $1,000,000 question is, how do we do this? And we've done it a bunch of times here. And one of the many techniques is getting into our body. So why? Because the body is always in the present moment. The body doesn't, any sensory experience that we can connect with in the body doesn't happen in the future or the past. It's right here, right now. I can feel the floor. I can feel the desk. I can feel, my hand on my heart. Like, this is all happening in the present moment. And that allows us to actually get into a physiological place where we can then stimulate this rest and digest and soothing and calming activation of our nervous system. So I thought let's do that today. Let's practice that. So as per usual, let's start with closing our eyes. And the question is, body is in this space right here, right now. So just noticing your body. What's the space that it's inhabiting, that it's taking up? What's the, you're sitting in a chair, your feet flat on the ground. And just notice your body in space and time right here, right now. And we're going to do a bit of what we would call a body scan. So we're just going to take a little inventory of our body in this moment in time. And the reason this is relevant in this bigger conversation is because this is how we shift our nervous system and our cognitive processes back into some sense of control, or we regain some willpower rather than just feeling like we're out of control. So noticing your feet on the ground, and maybe start with your left foot. Go ahead and wiggle the toes of your left foot in your shoes or in your socks or barefoot. And really take it in. Really bring your full attention to your left foot. And another trick we can use is imagine yourself breathing into your left foot. Imagine if your left foot had, I don't know, lungs or some capacity to inflate. Imagine yourself breathing in and back out of your left foot. And then shifting to your right foot, wiggle your toes, bring as much physiological activity to that part of your body to really amplify the sensation. And then again, imagine yourself breathing into your right foot, whatever that means. And now noticing both of your feet at the same time, contact with the ground. I'm fidgeting my toes because it helps me orient towards my part of my body. And now I'm holding both of my feet in my attention at the same time and imagining breathing in and breathing out with both of my feet. Super simple. And if you have a really busy mind or your morning's been really hectic, probably a little bit difficult to maintain your focus there. So just be gentle. Now we're going to shift our body awareness to a completely different other part of our body, which is our belly. So right now, if you want to, you can sort of artificially distend your belly a little bit, sort of put some pressure on it, and then just let it relax. And just let the body breathe on its own, and just bear witness to the belly. This happens all day long. literally thousands of times. Our belly expands, contracts with each in-breath and out-breath. On average, we do anywhere from 15 to 20 breaths a minute. The cool thing is this is always available for us to connect to. And notice how we're not trying to do anything. We're not trying to shape or manage or curate. Literally just bearing witness to what's the belly doing, belly and the body doing. Let's scan a different part of our body. So let's move up to our throat and our neck. Noticing the sensation of each in-breath and out-breath in the throat. Relaxing. And now taking a quick inventory of these three parts of the body that we just checked out. So notice your feet. Wiggle your toes again if you want. Notice the belly. And then notice the throat and the neck. And this is just a minutia of what we could be paying attention to all day long. So my suggestion here is if you feel the sense of exhaustion, this ego depletion kicking in, and just remembering, it's going to be more intense at 3 in the afternoon, and then 5:30 in the afternoon, and 7 p.m. It's just how this works. And the antidote to that is to keep coming back to the present moment. And one technique is using the body in this way that we've been practicing here, just by focusing on specific body parts, the sensations, and making the choice to say, let me be in the here and now to experience this. And it's replenishing. So now go ahead, take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way. And then hold the exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another deep inhale. And exhale all the way. Relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your chest, your belly. And then hold that exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just allow your body to breathe on its own. And open your eyes. Come on back to the group. I could keep going on for a while, admittedly, but we're out of time. So that's 15 minutes. If you want to keep going, feel free to. But yeah, see if you can remember this weekend, this idea of ego depletion, you're really viewing your capacity of self-regulation and self-control. It is a limited resource. And where you spend that resource throughout the day makes all the difference in terms of, how much you've got in order to be able to self-regulate and feel calm and peaceful. So yeah, I hope it plants a little bit of awareness into that space for you. So have a great weekend. See you on Monday.